Back again, and honestly guys, I recorded this video in one day, so it's the same setup, same clothes, same head. So let's jump right back into our topic, how to start breaking and what are the next 3 steps. So the next 3 steps are hitting the cue ball right, hitting the rack right, and last but not least, power and speed. So in the first video we talked about the theory, stance and technique, and then movement. Once you have worked on these topics, I think it's important to move on to the next one, which is hitting the cue ball right. So now we're focusing just on the cue ball. For that, I would suggest using training balls. Because of all the lines and stuff, they are just forcing you to focus even more on the right aiming point. If you don't have these training balls, use a striped ball. You can set it up correctly and they will also help you to focus a bit more. The good thing also about the training balls and the striped ball is that it will give you an immediate feedback on how you hit the cue ball. You will see right away if you actually applied some side spin or even top and back spin. Of course, when you first start, I would recommend hitting the cue ball in the center and focus on that aiming point for a while until you hit it consistently. You have to understand though, when you're breaking a 9-ball, you have 9 balls here and only 1 cue ball. So because 9 balls are more powerful than 1 cue ball, the cue ball will always automatically bounce back. So in order to control the cue ball and make it stop, you have to aim a little bit above center. So apply a little bit of top spin. Then the cue ball will bounce back and then stop. If you're also not in a mood to rack like 100 racks when you're working on the cue ball, you can also use again the break rack or the breaking pillow that I introduced in my first video. Because once again, at that moment, you're only focusing now on the cue ball. So the result when it comes to the rack is not important yet, or not as important yet. Now the next step would be to focus on hitting the rack right. So when we're talking about 9-ball and breaking from the side, right? So you always have to imagine a straight line from the cue ball onto the 1-ball, and that means straight on. Because I actually had players who thought that straight on means always like straight on from the center, even though you're breaking from the side. I've had that too, and they were always surprised why the cue ball jumped off the table. So straight on always means from that position where the cue ball actually is. That's what you want to achieve at first, hitting it as straight as possible. And in the beginning also, take the speed down a notch. Don't break 100% with all the power you have. Try first to play a stop shot onto the rack, and then play with this for a little bit. So stop shot, a little bit harder, a little bit more energy. Also try sometimes to hit it sideways and see what happens, because sometimes there might be situations where you don't want to hit it straight on. You might want to hit it a little bit sideways, okay? When you are getting better with breaking, with the stop shot, you're increasing the speed, then step by step you can also focus on the area where you want the cue ball to end up. And in 9-ball, for example, when I'm breaking from this side, it's important to understand that this side of the table is forbidden. It is forbidden. The cue ball is not supposed to go in this direction after hitting the rack. Why? I'm sure you know why, because of this side pocket over there. And you see so many scratches like that, it's unreal. It's like it has some kind of magnet in it and it goes straight into the side pocket. So there is a certain area, like from the contact point where you want the cue ball to end up, to stop, to roll, whatever. If it gets kicked, it's not your fault, that's not in your hands, but if it doesn't, focus on that. And another tip on the side, if you are having a hard time finding the right hitting point on the rack, what you can also do is place the cue ball, then look at the straight line, and then go through the 1-ball to the rail and then place a chalk on the rail. The way I placed it It was actually almost the diamond here on the rail, so that was helpful in my case. But it depends, of course, where you place the cue ball. So place the cue ball, straight line through the one ball, and then place a little helper on the rail. So when it comes to working on a more powerful break, there is not just one solution. There are many different opinions and ideas, and I get that. So I can only tell you what I believe, and I believe, first of all, that drill and repetition training is important. I think you need to play a lot of breaks to get the movement right, to also train your muscles, your movements, and to make the muscles communicate better.
You probably noticed that my arm movement is not completely straight. I go a little bit to the side. I learned it as a kid, so to me it is absolutely natural. But please do not copy stuff like that. If you do it, then it's fine, but do not copy it. Some players do it, some players don't. I'm not a sports scientist, but I do believe that the straighter you are, the better it is.
Another thing that I heard from a trainer, actually, that was not my idea, was to sometimes work with a resistance band. So it's like a band that you put around your arm, you go in position, and the arm is also put somewhere else, so there's some kind of resistance, and now you're doing the movement, and your muscles have to work against that resistance. Interesting idea for sure. Try it out. And one thing that you should also look at is the timing. Maybe together with a trainer or a coach or other players, even videotape yourself to see maybe it's the timing that's the problem. Maybe you are accelerating the cue ball, but you're already decelerating before you actually hit the cue ball. Or your body is maybe too late or too early for your stroke, you know? So you're losing some energy there. So it is complex, as you can see. This could also be another reason that you are not creating the power that you want.
Here are a few more things you can try out. Change the weight of your break cue. Either make it lighter or make it heavier. It's up to you. If you can change it, try it out. What you can also change is where you grab the break cue. So try to grab a little bit shorter or even a little bit longer. That will change the angle in your breaking arm. And if it is a problem with the timing, try out to change the length of your bridge hand. So either go shorter or go longer and change the position of the cue ball. Just try out and see if that helps you.
And one more tip when you are working on your break, and if you have the break rack, then use it. I think it's great for that, to really just work on the power and speed and not worry too much about racking. But I can totally understand if you don't have that or if you don't want to spend the money. Maybe have a friend, a colleague who racks for you, so you can focus on what's important, and that's breaking. Breaking is complex. It is a huge topic, but I think it's so important to start at step number 1 and then take it step by step. Focus on each step, and then in the end you have to put all of this together anyway, and that's going to be overwhelming again and difficult. That's what it is, right? Billiard pool is not easy, so stay tuned, have fun, and I talk to you soon.